So, thus from our survey what we find is that there are new trends in historiography. The increasing realization is that we can't dispense with the role of causation in history. There can be many intellectual exercises, no problem, that would enrich and sometimes strangulate also the kind of history we are trying to develop. So, in conclusion, I would say that two, three things we are looking at. First was that right from 15th, 16th century onwards, there was a heavy emphasis on, on the literary rigor of research. That one should go into the text, read the text from the point of view of a linguist, and then deconstruct the text and then try to establish what was the vocabulary of that particular time, and then one can identify even the syntax and other things, grammar, then you can find that the particular text is of any value or not. Now, from that we moved forward, and by the 19th century we arrived. We had many historians, especially Leopold von Ranke, who said that history, you should not intrude into history. The historian's intrusion should be avoided, meaning thereby your own interpretation should be avoided. So let history be told as it was. Wie erkenntlich gewesen. So, from then we find that, and this is the time when industrialization is taking place. Some of the nations have already industrialized. There are economic thinkers like Adam Smith, Ricardo, Say, Marx, followed by others. Even some subsequently the marginal utility school. So, all these were developing their fields on a trajectory which was based on logic, rationality, and the aim was to arrive at some conclusion which should be acceptable to majority of the thinkers or practitioners. Similarly, history is also not unattached to such happenings. When Adam Smith is saying about colonies, of course he is referring to colonies, but he is the Marx's explanation of colony or colonization and its role in economy of the colonized country as well as of the parent the colonizing country, both have different objectives. So this kind of exercises started opening new vistas for historiography as well. So in history also, suddenly we find by 1960 it was heavily underlined by Carr's work that, and before that, Mark Bloch and others, they had also told us that we should look for cause and consequence symmetry of history. That causes and consequences symmetry will give you a reliable picture of historiography. Why they are saying so? Because Carr is very definite about this. He says that all facts you can't consider as facts. There are plenty of facts. Some of the facts are irrelevant, but they are facts. The relevance of fact will depend on what you are trying to write about. There are many other factors, but it is the objective. The others say that prefiguration is essential. It is not prefiguration in that sense, but I would say the preparedness of the historian is important. How intellectually exciting his knowledge is, and accordingly he would perceive certain things. Like colonialism was there, colonies were there right from Greek period, Greek history times. Asia Minor was a colony of Greece. The Asian islands were colonies of Greece during the time Athens Sparta war took place, Peloponnesian wars took place. But those colonies were not of the nature which we find the colonialism taking shape in the 19th century. So mere occurrence of a term does not mean that the framework was same, the shape was same, the contours were same, the objectives were same. They were dissimilar. This you can find only when the historian establishes the relationship between the causes and effects. So those facts are important, which are historical facts, which has a serious historical consequence. To conclude, I would say that the challenge to the empiricist paradigm assumes that historians' description of historical events are best only representations because there is no direct way to acquire first-hand historical knowledge. Secondly, as I was saying, that there is a growing realization that consequences of the overlapping character of historical event, historical interpretations, in the sense that the historical text is an intertext touched and chastened by the social and political structures of the age which produces it. So there are many challenges being faced by historians. What is important is the ultimate realization by the historians, eventual realization by the historians, that history has to acknowledge, has to accept the role of causal relationships in the creation of logical, rationalist interpretation of an event leading to the creation of a history. Thank you very much.